Hello, my name is Ola, and I'm going to be reacting to Jaws 2 1978 Kill Count by Dead Meat. This was recommended to me by Maverick Cortez. And honestly, yeah, Jaws should have just ended right here. Like, there did not need to be a third, they especially did not need to be a fourth movie. Yeah, anyway, let's see how many kills does a shark do this time. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe my channel, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Here we go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Jaws 2, released in 1978. Like I said before, the Jaws sequels are movies that absolutely do not need to exist. I mean, the first one didn't have any unresolved cliffhangers, and they blew up the friggin' shark. So why are we back on Amity Island with the Brodies again, 3 years later? Well, cause there's another shark, who's eating people again. Also, you know, money. If the movie's premise sounds familiar to you, it's probably because this is basically the same movie. Sure, Richard Dreyfuss is nowhere to be found, and the elder Brody brother appears to have grown at an accelerated rate, but besides that, it'd be easy to mistake a lot of these scenes as being from the original, especially when you've got Murray Hamilton running around again as the criminally negligent mayor Larry Vaughn. Although Jaws 2 is mostly a rehashing of the original, it's at least a competent film, which cannot exactly be said of parts 3 and 4. Still, production faced many problems, including a reluctant star in Roy Scheider, who only agreed to do the film to get out of a contract dispute with Universal. He was so unhappy with the movie and new director Jeannot Szwarc that apparently at one point the two of them got into a physical fight that was only ended when a visiting Verna Fields, who had edited the first film, sat on both of them. But we're not here to talk about real life scuffles, we're here to talk about fictional kills. So let's get to it already and count them up.
And she sat on them? What?
The movie begins with a couple of dudes swimming around the seabed looking for titanium to fabricate better diving equipment. They find the mother lode in the form of the sunken orca, which, as we all know, was taken down by one shark and one crazy sea captain. The divers approach the orca, which is resting near a kelp forest, then pull up their pants and do the Muscle Man dance by its wreckage. But unfortunately for them, a familiar shark tune harkens a new great white killer. The new shark gets a couple of kills without ever making itself seen, although as you've probably guessed, the camera falling to the ocean floor will end up being a plot point later on. Damn, is that all the blood we get for these kills though? Step it up, Jaws 2, you're a goddamn sequel! To lend this sequel some continuity and prestige, John Williams returns to compose another excellent score. They were also able to shoot at Martha's Vineyard again, which was very important to making us believe we were back in Amity. That town was basically a character in the first film, and it would have sucked if Jaws 2 used a clearly different shooting location. However, since Martha's Vineyard wasn't too keen on hosting another movie production after the disastrous shoot for the first movie, most of the open water stuff in the second half of Jaws 2 was shot in the Gulf of Mexico. Amity and its plaid dad mayor are currently celebrating the opening of some new condominiums made by developer Len Peterson, who also happens to be Ellen Brody's inappropriately touchy boss. They have a big ceremony that includes a balloon drop and a teenage beauty pageant queen for the ribbon cutting. Yo, Brody, you're the chief of police here. Maybe don't wolf whistle at high schoolers, huh? Speaking of high schoolers, you may be surprised to hear that Jaws 2 mostly follows a group of teenagers, kinda like the slasher films that were just about to get popular around this time. Among them are Brody's son Mike, his friend who probably plays practical jokes with hockey masks, the mayor's son Larry Jr., who's rocking some stately eyebrows, a couple of nerds, one played by the dude in Christine, and the other one looking like the spitting image of Napoleon Dynamite, and a character named Jackie, whose cousin Brooke is trying to hook her up with Mikey B. There are a whole bunch more, and they're all super into sailing, but to be honest, none of them really stand out as interesting characters, so don't feel bad if you keep forgetting who's who. While the kids are all new characters, we do get another returning character in Brody's deputy, Jeff Hendricks, played again by Jeffrey Kramer, who was hilarious in the original as a well-meaning but very dim-witted police officer. Also, little fun fact, Jeffrey Kramer had a small role in the original Halloween 2 2 as a dentist who determined that the Michael-masked body from that hilarious car explosion was Ben Tramer. When Hendricks and Brody are told about the abandoned boat left vacant by the deaths of those divers, Hendricks heads out to take a look and returns with the diver's camera. The teens sail around and have a good time, with Mike, continually teabagging the ocean? Or are they just testing to see if he's a witch? In any case, the shark theme and an underwater point of view shot let us know that New Shark is already on the hunt again. And when he misses out on a Brody snack, he goes and finds a makeup meal closer to shore, a water skier and her boat pilot. This was one of the first scenes they filmed after hiring Schwark as a replacement director after the original director, John Hancock, didn't work out.
John, very talented, but utterly ill-equipped for this particular movie, as it turned out.
Since this scene is an elaborate action set piece, Schwark was able to spend a bunch of time shooting it, while Carl Gottlieb was once again brought in to rewrite the troubled script. The shark catches up to Terry the water skier and takes her down, killing her in a pretty standard shark attack that's heavy on the editing and light on the blood. The boat driver, Diane, swings back around and finds no sign of her friend, just a sign of a shark attack! Get down with the get down! The mechanical-looking shark wrecks the boat and induces Diane to give herself a gasoline shower. She also uses the gas as an offensive against the shark when she fires a flare gun, and it is successful in catching the fish on fire. It's also successful in blowing up the boat and killing Diane in a sequel-worthy explosion. That's what I'm talking about, Jaws 2. Go big or go home. The Amity PD inspects the accident site, but the only thing they find is a foreshadowing power cable that, if you squint enough, looks an awful lot like an oxygen tank. After shooting a cereal commercial around the dining table the next morning,
Eat Cheerios.
You eat Cheerios. I want Fruit Loops.
You eat Cheerios.
Chief Brody tells Mrs. Brody that he wants Mikey Brody to get a job, but that boy would rather spend all his time with his boat squad on the beach. During a rousing game of grab-ass, some of the teens find a whale carcass with a big old chomp taken out of it.
Damn.
Better get Brody over here to dramatically remove his sunglasses again. Since Richard Dreyfuss wouldn't do a sequel without Spielberg involved, we get a new shark expert to look at the carcass, and Brody relays everything he learned in the last movie.
You better check the bite radius.
What?
The bite radius. You can measure a shark's bite radius.
A what?
It's the shape of the... You know what? Never mind. Unlike Hooper, this new expert's not quick to jump to a shark explanation and shoots down Brody's suggestion that this could be an act of revenge.
I know that dolphins communicate. I mean, they send signals. You don't think that if a shark was destroyed, that another shark could come in?
Sharks don't take things personally, Mr. Brody.
Yeah, at least not until the fourth movie. To abso-fucking-lutely nobody's surprise, Mayor McClose-My-Eyes is also not excited about Chief Brody's shark theory.
I think we may have another shark problem. Are you serious?
You already know the things he says to Brody, so just pretend like I told you he said them. Brody takes things into his own hands by conjuring up some poison-tipped shark-hunting bullets and telling Deputy Hendricks to get the film and the scuba camera developed for clues. At home, he has Ellen try to call Matt Hooper for help, but to no avail.
He's on the research vessel Aurora.
Oh shit, he's on the Aurora. Don't expect him back anytime soon. So Brody is on his own the next day as he stands guard in a shark tower, watching over all the potential shark snacks on the beach. Haha, that little kid is rolling so hard. His overt vigilance upsets Mayor Shark Truther and that real estate developer Len Peterson, since they're trying to sell some out-of-towners on Amity's amenities. To be fair to those dudes, Brody does seem to be off his rocker a bit. After seeing an innocuous shadow near some swimmers, he rings the panic bell, which basically tells all the beachgoers to shit themselves. Then he draws his frickin' gun and waves it wildly as he runs to the water. Shit, he even nearly shoots a kid as he unloads his gun into what ends up being just a school of bluefish.
Just bluefish!
Yeah, well now they're redfish. Feast up, seagulls. Obviously, this isn't a good look for Brody, whose youngest son Sean helps him pick up the shells from his poisoned bullets. Great parenting. So even though he gets those pictures developed and thinks that one of them shows proof of a shark, the mayor and Amity's Select Council refuse to see anything in the photo and chalk up his interpretation to his shark-addled mind. Because of the shooty incident on the beach, the council fires Sheriff Brody, who predictably handles it in the unhealthy way of getting drunk. I don't normally comment on deleted scenes because they're not canon, but I'm sad that they got rid of one scene that shows the council voting to fire Brody and Mayor Larry Vaughn as the only one who votes in Brody's defense. I think it was a real nice shading to that character, whose wonderful actor, Murray Hamilton, sadly passed away a few years after Jaws 2 came out. The next morning, Mike sneaks out of the house to go sailing with his friends instead of working like his dad wants him to, and because Sean catches him, he's forced to take his little bro along. Michael and his friends take 6 boats out on the water. Whoa, that one's like sideways and shit. That looks dope. And head towards their hangout island with the lighthouse, not knowing that there's a hungry shark who wants to come too. One particularly horny couple, Tina and Eddie, sail to the island at a separate pace so they can neck each other in Tina's joy boat. Did somebody say neck? Sounds tasty. New Shark slams into the boat and knocks Eddie overboard. So you know that poor dude is about to become the next kill on our count. The shark doubles back and swims under the boat to make it happen, pulling Eddie underwater and then giving him a surface skimming ride right into the side of the boat. Eddie is pulled away from Tina and killed underwater, turning the water around the boat a nice Hawaiian punch red. The Brodies go into town and find out from now Sheriff Hendricks that Mike and his friends went out sailing that morning. Panicked because of, shark stuff, they have Hendricks take them out on the police boat where Brody shows off his legs and calls for a helicopter to go check on the sailing teens. The police boat comes across Tina's Joy, where they find a joyless Tina cowering in the hull. She tells them that she was attacked by a shark! So Brody quickly flags down a passing boat to take the others back to shore while he commandeers the police boat to go after his son. Better get there fast, cause they're already looking at a shark attack! During the chaos, the shark sinks, 1, 2, 3 boats? Although that third one was kinda self-inflicted, let's be real. Also, Mike gets knocked out, and a couple of the boats run into each other, rendering most of them sea-worthless. The shark comes back around, and there's a cool shark back shot that the cam op could only get by riding a specially constructed shark saddle. That's awesome! The unconscious Mike is pulled safely into a working boat before the shark can have itself a Brody brunch. And after New Shark leaves in disappointment, the team captain of that sea witch agrees to take Mike back to town and send help for the others. While they wait, they pass the time by making a floating boat colony. Alright, that looks like so much fun! Come on, you moody ass kids, you're floating on a boat fort. Enjoy it! A harbor patrol helicopter finds the teens and their makeshift boat barge and sets down on the water nearby. The pilot starts to rope them to his chopper so he can tow them to a nearby power station island, but wouldn't you know it, right as it goes to lift off, that bird falls victim to a shark attack! Poultry, don't mind if I do! The chopper attack seriously messes things up, and by time it's over, the sailboats are left sailless, and the pilot is left dead. At least I think it's a safe assumption, because he never resurfaces. There was a deleted scene showing him getting attacked, but they cut it to keep the movie PG. Fair enough. The shark keeps doing his shark thing, ramming into boats and knocking people into the water, and when one of the teens, Marge, tries to help little Sean Brody back onto a boat, she's eaten by the shark right in front of the youngster's eyes, surely giving him and these other poor teens some lifelong trauma and aquaphobia. The teens eventually spot Cable Junction, an island way station providing power to Amity that in real life was played by a couple of barges anchored together and decorated with fake rocks. By using barges instead of a real island with a shallow shore, they were able to be in water deep enough to use the 3-ton platform that the mechanical shark was attached to. Meanwhile, Brody comes across the Sea Witch sailboat with his now conscious son on it, and Mike tells his dad that the rest of his friends are still stuck floating to Cable Junction. Oh, and also, my kid brother's on there too. Bye! Yeah. The floating wreckage is finally about to arrive at Cable Junction when it gets caught on some rocks on the ocean floor. Thankfully for the kids, that's when Brody arrives in the police boat to rescue them all. Not thankfully for them, it's also when they face another shark attack that messes Martin Brody up so bad he ends up ramming the police boat into Cable Junction's fake rocks. Wow, dude, you're not even on the force anymore. That's like a stolen police boat you just wrecked. He throws the teens a rope and tries to use a winch to pull them to the island, but the hooks get caught on that power cable we were introduced to earlier, which is then pulled up to shark attack! Can't stop the Scarface shark! Most of the kids swim for shore, while Sean and Mike's kinda love interest, Jackie, are left stranded and screaming for help. When Brody sees what the winch dragged in, this crazy motherfucker gets an idea. The burnt-faced shark makes another big push at the wreckage, putting Sean and Jackie in danger, but Brody bangs on the power cable to get the shark's attention, since they had established earlier in this movie that sharks can respond to sound vibrations. The shark makes its way towards Martin Brody, but like I said, this is a man with a plan, and when the shark moves in for its climactic meal, Brody feeds it the power cable. That fucks the shark up good and proper, with the thing going up in flames and sparks like an overloaded circuit breaker. I love that there's no ambiguity here. That thing is dead as fuck. But like I said in the first Jaws kill count, sequel sharks don't make it onto the count. Sorry. The movie ends with teenagers celebrating the demise of a beautiful sea creature and Martin Brody reuniting with his youngest son. How many kills floated up to the surface in this sequel? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
James.
7 people died in Jaws 2, increasing the body count like most sequels do. The victims included 4 men and 3 women, giving us a nearly even pie chart. And with a runtime of 116 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 16.57 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Diane the speedboat driver. That boat just friggin' explodes and leaves the shark with a badass scar. Great heightening for a sequel. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to the scuba divers in the beginning, since it's just done through a series of camera cuts. We've seen that before. And that's it. Jaws 2 came out in 1978 before sequels were a common thing, so there's another way the Jaws franchise influenced the movie industry. Next week is Jaws 3D, the stereoscopic SeaWorld adventure, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching the Jaws 2 Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Ben Hoverson, Harry Jones, Chloe Cook, John Kirkaldy, Christopher Valencia, and Sensei Tuba Man. Jaws 2 is one of the most adequate sequels I've ever seen. I've actually come to kind of like it, thanks in large part to John Williams' score. I think the music in this one is better than the first one. Thanks everyone, be good people.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. Same thing can't be said for the rest of the movies, though. Yeah, honestly, the rest of the movies suck. Yeah, I definitely think that, Jaws should have just ended right here. There did not need to be a third. There especially did not need to be a fourth one. Oh my God, why? Yeah, I'd say the only cool part about it was, that part where that shark does a drive-by, just that was pretty cool. But aside from that, that's it. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my reaction to Jaws 2, 1978 Kill Count by Dead Meat. Everyone, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.